footsteps waking me up. The face of an old friend you haven't seen in years. Stories turn to songs and laughter to tears. These things aren't a given, they're a gift to behold. Like the first leaves of autumn, and our breath in the cold. Ready to. Sometimes all you need is ready to try and hold on to your hands in the garden. The smile of a child swimming in the river, walking the last sweet mile. First crack of thunder, the heavenly rain. All that gets taken and all that remains. These things aren't a given, they're a gift to behold. Like the first sip of whiskey and dancing real slow.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. It is Monday today. It is deadlift day, working up to 242.5 kilos for a double, which is 2.5 kilos more than a fortnight ago, and feeling pretty well recovered for it. I went for a really nice long walk with my cousin yesterday around the harbour side in Bristol, which is a lovely part of the world. It was extremely cold and pretty misty, but really nice to get out in the fresh air and just feel nice and recovered for today's session. So feeling good. Let's start the week strong. Let's go and hit some deadlifts.
There ain't no defeat.
Yeah.
No, there ain't no defeat.
Yeah. Bad man. Enough chat. It ain't really done till it's over. I'm in it running, so call me to come back. Yeah. Me don't play dumb, and I know that. Me don't run with fire, but yeah, I'm that lit. I'm that lit. I got that heart in the grid. I've been grinding. I will not relent. I will not relent. I got the heart of a lion, and I'm looking right at your neck. Right at your neck. I'm cut from a different cloth, a little bit different than y'all. This one's for the people that lived through the evil, that killed all your demons and been through defeat, and you came out a leader resolve. Yeah, slide zone, walk through like it's my zone. My zone. Worked hard, now I got a foreign in my home. It don't mean nothing to me. Got a button to me. If you push it, I'm punishing, then you nothing but a glutton to me. Yeah, it's nothing to me. I give you something to see. If you talking to me, then you know I'm talking defeat. Nah, there ain't no defeat. Ain't no defeat. Ain't no defeat in my blood. We don't surrender to large, no, there ain't no defeat, ain't no defeat, ain't no defeat in my blood. Yeah, there ain't no defeat, ain't no defeat, ain't no defeat.
No, there ain't no defeat. There ain't no defeat. Ain't no defeat. Ain't no defeat.
Right, so it's the end of the week, it's Saturday, and I use the weekends sometimes as an opportunity to look back over the week's training and reflect a little bit just to see what went well, what didn't go so well. And I was looking back at Monday's deadlifts, and I did notice a couple of things that I wasn't too happy with, and they're very slight, but they did sort of get me thinking, and that was that my positioning was a little bit off. I was rushing the movement a little bit, which was sort of throwing me out of position. And it just so happens that while I've been at university this week, I have been learning about neuroscience, and it's been really interesting, and I've been able to kind of apply it to my powerlifting training. So the particular area that we're looking at the moment in class is the different tracks that you have in your brain, which sends a message to your muscles, and how that movement is kind of refined. So what we were looking at on Wednesday is something called the cerebrocerebellum tract, and how that works in coordination with the corticospinal tract, which is what sends the signal from your cortex, which is located in your parietal lobe in your brain, around about there on both sides. That is sent down to your muscle when there is an action potential, which basically means you've decided that you want to move this weight. So the example here is deadlift. So I've reached down, I'm feeling the bar, so I'm using sort of my sensory stimulus as well, which is then sent to the cerebellum as well. And I'm holding onto the bar, and when I decide to actually initiate the pull, that is when that message is sent down to my muscles to contract my muscles. But then at the exact time, from the cortex, there is a message that is sent to the cerebellum via something called the pons, and your cerebellum is located in the back of your head here, and that's what kind of refines movement and coordination. So someone that might have a lesion in their cerebellum or an issue with it, you'll find that their coordination is really off. So you might get that in something like I think MS maybe, so some sort of neurological conditions. But in this instance with deadlifting, that copy is sent to the cerebellum, as well as the sensory feedback that you're getting from your muscles. And then cerebellum's job is to calculate the degree of error in that movement. So in this instance with my deadlifts, my hips shot up, so I was put out of position, which pushed me forward, which put me very slightly onto my toes. So what my cerebellum is doing at the exact same time that I'm moving is working out what I did wrong, and then it's sending another message to the cortex how to correct that. So this happens just in a split second, and it is happening constantly. So you're constantly getting that feedback of how to correct a movement, and it just goes to show how important perfect form really is. People say that form doesn't really matter, but really, especially when you're starting powerlifting and you're really trying to work out that coordination of how to move a weight, technique and form is really important, because what you're doing is building up that neuroplasticity, where you're actually teaching your brain this motor pattern, so that pathway will become a lot more efficient, and your body will just sort of work out what it is that you're trying to do. And it's the same with anything. It's the same reason why toddlers who haven't obviously developed their brain as fully as an adult, that's why they're a bit stumbly when they're walking. Their brain is constantly trying to work out that coordination and build up that neuroplasticity to the point where they're coordinated and they can just walk subconsciously without even really thinking about it, because that pathway has been built up, and that balance, that proprioception has all been built up, and that is all down to the cerebellum and that continual loop of that exact copy of muscle action potentials. So I just found that really fascinating this week while I was at uni, and I just thought I could really apply and understand exactly why training is so important in terms of perfect training and actually technique. Because if I was to be sloppy with my form every week, then I'm kind of ingraining bad pathways. So it is really important that every rep needs to kind of look as perfect as possible. Obviously, as you get to the higher weights, there will be form breakdown, but that's fine. But as long as you're laying the foundation when you're doing the lighter weights to actually get into good positions and get into good technique, or use good technique, then that's when you'll see the benefits, I think. Come on, you Reds. Just got back from the hallowed ground, which is Ashton Gate, home of Bristol City Football Club. We just won 3-0 in the FA Cup against West Brom. Absolutely buzzing with that. It was a good opportunity as well to get some extra steps in. I'm trying to get as many steps in as I can this weekend just to get that recovery in, because obviously it's another big week of training. I mean, every week is a big week of training, but on Monday I'm going to be going for another new SSB personal best. I'm going to work up to 235 kilos hopefully. I'm kind of enjoying my training at the moment because I'm not doing the same thing on every single day. I'm kind of working in bi-weekly cycles, so Monday I'll be doing an SSB personal best, and then the following Monday I'll be doing deadlifts. So I'm not doing like the same thing every week, so I'm kind of enjoying that because it just mixes it up, keeps it fresh, and means that I'm more likely to adhere to it and enjoy it. So yeah, gonna make sure that I get my recovery in for the weekend. I'm going on a really long walk tomorrow, so just making sure my lovely new walking boots are up to scratch and dried off from the last time I used them. So yeah, gonna pretty much wrap up the video here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I realised that the topic that I was talking about with like the neuroscience was maybe a little bit heavy, and for anyone that's like not familiar with anything neuro-based, it might have been a little bit heavy. I'm not really sure, but also I'm kind of fairly new to it myself and revising it, so there might have been some bits in there which I got slightly wrong. So if anyone's really hot on their neuro, then please let me know if I got any of that wrong, and just you know, send me some sources and stuff that I can look over, because I am really interested in it. But that's just because I'm a bit of a nerd. Anyway guys, I'm getting out of breath just talking, so I'm going to wrap up the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you have, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in that next one. Take care. Peace!